There is some remarkable video out now establishing that Vice President J.D. Vance is a self-centered jerk even when he is skiing. TMZ recorded Vance and his family going on Sugarbush Mountain in Vermont. That's Vance in the green and black jacket nearly getting hit by a snowboarder. Seconds later, watch what happens to two skiers near Vance. Does J.D. Vance stop and ask if the down skiers are okay or need help? Of course not. Vance just keeps going because J.D. Vance is an asshole. Over the weekend, upon the news that Vance was on vacation at Sugarbush, protesters were all over the mountain, even at the ski lifts, waiting for an opportunity to yell at Vance. Again, here's a clip posted by TMZ.
JD, how does it feel being Putin's puppet?
Vance emerged on the slopes after going into hiding and ditching his rental at the main luxury lodge. When the Vance entourage arrived, they were greeted by hundreds of protesters. The sign said, "Go ski in Russia, traitor. Vance is the scum of the earth. Hate does not grow in the rocky soil of Vermont. Our cows shit better ideas than Vance. And goodbye, free world. Traitor Trump loves Russia." Even at the main lift line, for several hours, the demonstrators held this sign: "Vance is a traitor. Go ski in Russia."
This is a group of people who has always been supportive of standing with Ukraine. However, I think yesterday's performance at the White House has probably galvanized even more people to come out today.
After what he did yesterday, he crossed the line.
I feel like all of America should be out here protesting.
Several Canadians who have seen the vacation video of Vance are noting that he is a terrible skier, on top of violating basic rules of etiquette by refusing to express even a modicum of concern for skiers who have fallen. Most Americans evaluate politicians by imagining what it would be like to have a beer with that lawmaker. Well, now one imagines that if somebody wanted to have a beer with Vance, but slipped and fell near him at the bar, Vance would shrug and just keep drinking without even a cursory, "Are you okay?" That's how self-centered and obnoxious J.D. Vance keeps coming across. On Ukraine, Vance began the ambush of President Zelinskyy by asserting that Zelinskyy had not been thankful enough for U.S. assistance. And that's ironic because as a senator, J.D. Vance repeatedly voted against U.S. assistance for Ukraine. That's right, Vance wanted Ukraine to not get any help from the United States, but now Vance is telling Ukraine Zelinskyy needs to express more gratitude for U.S. help. Many Americans saw the Vance-Trump crap at the Oval Office and felt ashamed, embarrassed, and convinced that our nation has hit a new low. Indeed, we have leaders in Trump and Vance who now stand with the tyrannical dictator Vladimir Putin of Russia and against freedom and democracy. In these difficult times, when many of us are literally in shock that a U.S. administration would behave as grotesquely as the Trump-Vance administration has behaved, it sometimes helps and is soothing to hear people pushing back. Few people have been pushing back at Trump with as much wit, intelligence, and fervor as our neighbors in Canada. Trump's tariff threats and comments about Canada being a U.S. state keep coming. But recently, the American-born coach of Canada's national soccer team delivered this.
If I have one message to our president, it's lay off the ridiculous rhetoric about Canada being the 51st state. As an American, I'm ashamed, right, of the arrogance and disregard that we've shown one of our historically oldest, strongest, and most loyal allies.
A few weeks ago, the leader of Canada's Green Party took on Trump. Elizabeth May, speaking off the cuff, delivered remarks that have gone viral. May's words are worth watching again, especially now.
Newsflash, Donald Trump, we are not aspiring to be a 51st state. We are already a sovereign country. We are a nation. And anytime anyone looks around the world for the top 10 places to live, Canada's in the top half of the top 10, always. The United States? Never. Even the U.S. News and World Report, which puts together such a list, looks at things like affordability, access to health care, safe streets. Where do you want to live? Canada. People who know Trump in business deals say this is his tactic before negotiation. Humiliation. business approach. Okay, so I take offense. We do not strive to be the 51st state. We're a G7 country. We are part of the world as an independent, sovereign nation. L'un des forts multilatéral, nous avons le respect des autres nations du monde. So no, sorry. And I really also take offense, sorry, Mr. Trump, took offense to your idea that Pierre Poilievre wasn't good enough to lead the Conservatives. Wayne Gretzky, I mean, he's great. He is the great one. He skates to where the puck is going. It's not going to MAGA. The puck is on a Canadian ice rink. And by the way, Mr. Trump, please, before making public pronouncements that Wayne Gretzky should run for prime minister, give yourself or get yourself a briefing on the nature of parliamentary democracy, a Westminster parliamentary system, and a constitutional monarchy where no one runs for prime minister. We have elections for members of parliament. We don't get to pick and choose among our billionaire friends for who gets a seat at the cabinet table. If they're not an elected member of parliament, well, Canadian system is different from that of the United States of America. I suggest that Mr. Trump find one of his grandchildren's school books and look at the year 1776, which may explain a few things to him about why our systems of government are different. I don't want to belittle Mr. Trump, but on the other hand, hey, Donald, have we got a deal for you? You think we want to be the 51st state? Nah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province. How about it? California, Oregon, Washington, you've got geography in common with us. And not only that, we've already got a carbon trading system between California and Quebec. We've got some strong alliances on our west coast from British Columbia. There's been a lot of academic papers on the idea of Cascadia. So California, Governor Newsom, and Washington State, Jay Inslee, and newly elected Governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek. How about it? Want to put a referendum to your citizens? Because this is what you deal. Have we got a deal for you? This is what you get. Free health care. Universal free health care. No more one-year-olds who suddenly fall off the Medicaid list and their parents are in the news because they're trying to do a GoFundMe so they can get their daughter to a doctor. Universal free health care. And guess what? Those gun laws that your Congress is too afraid to pass because of the national gun lobby, we already got our strict gun laws. That's why we have the safest streets around the world, or at least in the United States, by the way, the most recent stats, 5.9 out of every 100,000 people is killed in a fatal gun incident versus 0.88 per 100,000 in Canada. That's because we have strict gun laws. California citizens, Oregon, Washington, safer streets. Here we already have good gun laws, and women have a right to an abortion under our universal health care system. But, we don't have to stop there. Donald, think about it. You could get rid of all these states that always vote Democrat. You know what else will take Bernie Sanders off your hands? Proud new Canadian citizen of the great province of Vermont. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. We'd love to see you. Our maritime provinces already have deep, deep links and ties. Well, enough kidding around. But honestly, President Trump, get used to it. Canada is a sovereign nation full of, guess what, proud Canadians. We're not jingoistic. We don't boast a lot. That's one of the things we kind of have in common with Jimmy Carter. We're not a big nation for braggarts and bullies. We actually like to think we're of service in the world. We could do better. We can always do better. But we love our country. And it's a country. It's a nation. And we do not aspire to be a 51st state. So let's not hear that anymore. If it was a joke, it was never funny, and it ends now.
Whether we hear from a Canadian member of parliament or see a clip of J.D. Vance violating basic skiing etiquette, I hope these videos give all of you some hope. The truth about J.D. Vance and Donald Trump is out there, and a lot of America's friends and neighbors are speaking out and inspiring all of us who at times feel like everything is lost. Stay strong, friends, and for more updates, including our daily efforts to speak the truth and reclaim America, check out our Substack Blue Amp. You're going to love it. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.